What is up, my dudes? Today's episode, we have our top 12 fantasy QB rankings. A lot of Justin Fields talk, a little bit of Patrick Mahomes slander, and a Mexican food Mount Rushmore. All right, with that, guys, let's jump right into these. Our little Google sheet on the screen or Spotify. I have a little comp. We can show PFF's rankings. We got Fantasy Life. Then we have my rankings, Jordan's, and Seth's. We can go from there. I think, guys, we just start from 12 and work our way to 1. We're going to do our top 12 QB rankings, and we can even discuss what we don't have, what we're missing, what we think PFF's missing, what Fantasy Life's missing. But I thought that was a pretty good gauge to see where everyone else is. Starting at 12, I think I'm the most wild going over at 12. Would everybody agree with that? Looking at it, Jordan, do you think I'm the craziest there?
You have JJ McCarthy. The guy can't throw a football, and you have him at a 12th ranked quarterback.
I know you hate JJ McCarthy, but I was too low on Sam.
I don't understand why. Why do you like him so much? That's what I don't understand.
I think everyone's sleeping on him way too much. So what I like about JJ McCarthy.
But why?
What did you like about Sam Darnold last year? What did anyone like about Sam Darnold?
I didn't like anything about Sam Darnold last year. I didn't. So I'm not gonna I just don't like the fact that you think that it's gonna happen again is weird to me.
I just think anyone in that O'Connell offense can be a top fantasy performer at the quarterback position. Last year, Sam Darnold finished his QB9.
So also had 4 or 5 years in the NFL under his belt. You're talking about a guy who, in my opinion, did not look good throwing the football at Michigan, hasn't played a game in the NFL, and all of a sudden he's going to be a top 12. Now, could he be Bo Nix? I didn't think Bo Nix was going to be good either, and now I have Bo Nix ranked. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of assumptions that you're making that the same thing's going to repeat itself based on previous years. But Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy aren't the same person. And one had multiple years under his belt starting in the NFL and then had a breakout year. JJ McCarthy threw the ball 15 times at Michigan.
Yeah. I like his weapons and I like his coach. I think he can get it done here. I think he's more athletic than Sam Darnold when it comes to athletic ability of running and stuff like that. It's mostly just Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I don't think you can go wrong with those weapons. And I think Hawkinson's a top guy too. I think this is a top offense, and I think he should be able to thrive in it. And they even said, I think today, that their Super Bowl window they're looking at in the next 3 years. So they're all in on McCarthy, which everyone should be saying that. But I think they're putting him in the position to succeed. I don't
okay,
know.
Trent. So why did Caleb Williams not succeed last year? He had all those great weapons too.
I don't think he had the coach that Minnesota has.
So this is Kevin O'Connell. Oh, this is
I like Kevin O'Connell. I think because you look at Josh Dobbs when he was there, he was fantasy relevant. Just anybody that goes in there for a few games is fantasy relevant. It's an O'Connell thing. So do you think? Do you know what I mean? You even 2 years ago were streaming Josh Dobbs in fantasy football when he was at Minnesota.
Maybe you were. I wasn't, but maybe you were. But okay.
Sorry, you weren't streaming him. You were playing him in some DFS.
DFS.
Sorry.
Yes.
So that is a little bit different. Yeah. So he did have a stretch where he was okay. Seth, you absolutely hate JJ McCarthy.
I don't know, but I'm not top 12.
Yeah. So PFF has Dak Prescott at 12. And then Fantasy Life has Justin Fields at 12. So I do not have Justin Fields in my top 12. Jordan, you do have Justin Fields in your top 12 at 12.
It's rushing upside. I feel like they're going to just ride him all year. They're not going to go to Tyrod Taylor, I don't think. I don't see the point of that. I mean, he has some weapons there, like Josh Reynolds, Garrett Wilson, Lazard, Breece Hall at running back, Braylon Allen at running back. They had the rookie tight end, Mason Taylor, out of LSU, Jason Taylor's son. So, they have weapons. And Fields was good last year. He was very good fantasy-wise. I wish I could pull up, his rushing ability is unmatched. And his touchdown upside is crazy good on the ground. So, I just like Fields a lot. Like, I think Fields, fantasy-wise, has so much more upside than JJ McCarthy. Like, I don't know. Like,
The rushing ability is
and
hard
we've
to
seen him,
deny.
and we've seen him do it over and over again, Trent. Like, he was really good in Chicago. He was really good in the games he played last year. Not saying real life, fantasy-wise. I don't know. I think Justin Fields, if you tell me that, if you can guarantee me that he's playing every single game next year, he's going to be a top 12 fantasy quarterback. I don't see how he's not. I wish I could find like in Chicago in 2022 and 2023 averaged 19.7 and 17.7. Last year he averaged 11.9, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that so like they're accounting for the games that he barely played. In his games that he started,
True.
you had 12-11, so slow start. Then 18, 32, 16, 23. Do you really think JJ McCarthy has 30-point upside next year?
Throwing to Justin Jefferson, who looking at Jefferson's just like underdog prop, he's still, the line is 1,299.5. So they have him at 1,300 yards, basically, is what you would have to get for the over at 9.5 receiving touchdowns. I just think with Jefferson and Addison, I think it's in play. Like,
but Trent, he doesn't. You only quarterbacks who have 30-point upside is.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, 30-point upside. Yeah, that's every week. 30-point upside. That's a lot. Yes.
Fields has that every single week. Fields can go into the game with 30-point upside every single week. For JJ McCarthy to get that, he's going to have to throw over 300 yards and for 3+ passing touchdowns.
So
Justin Fields, like, in that game, had 2 rushing touchdowns, 55 yards, and then he had the 300-yard bonus, but only had the 1 passing touchdown. Like, in his 24-point game, he had 145 yards passing, but he had 59 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. He is 50 yards rushing and rushing touchdown. Almost every week is like pretty realistic for him. So that's like he walks into every game with almost like a 7-point floor that some of these other quarterbacks don't have. But he basically starts with 7 every game, and whatever he does in the air is just the icing on the cake. Like, I don't know. I just think that's really, like, he's gonna be a top 12 quarterback if he starts every single game next year.
Yeah. So here's what I just got. I got JJ McCarthy here. I'm gonna just pull up his stuff here. You can look at it. But his passing TD line on underdog is 24.5. I feel like that's pretty high I feel like Vegas that's a high line, Jordan. Are you willing to take the under on those passing TDs?
No way.
Okay.
Oh, the under. Oh, the under.
The lower, yeah, the lower. Would you go under 24.5?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I'd have to really. I don't want to like say like right at the bat. Like, the line seems fairly good, like, to me on the top of my head. Like, I wouldn't take the over, but like, yeah, I think the under would be in play. But
so
I mean, that's
Justin
like 2
Fields
touchdowns a week. So, like, I don't know. Like,
Justin Fields had 2 games last year with 2 rushing touchdowns. That's big. So we just saw that. And going to underdog, guys, enter promo code DUDES, match up to $1,000. They have a new play you can do that they over. So JJ McCarthy, 0.5 most regular season passing yards in a game. There's a 13% payout, 13x payout on that. So I think that's interesting play that they're offering that now. I think that's neat that you can do the whole season that they're the highest passer. I'm not saying to do that, but we look at Justin Fields lines here, Jordan, and they're not, and you can even do 0.5 playoff games started. So I'm pulling up Justin Fields plays right here. And so we got 14.5 passing TDs is his line, 5.5 rushing TDs, 549.5 rushing yards. The rushing TDs are a lot. The rushing yards are a lot. It's a cheat code for quarterbacks. I agree.
What was McCarthy's passing yard line?
It was 3,400. It was right under 3,500.
Yeah. What was his rushing yard line?
They didn't have a rushing. I believe. I don't believe they had a rushing. Yeah. So it's a passing play. But yeah, I was looking at stuff like that.
I mean, I'll take the over on Justin Fields 5.5 rushing touchdowns.
I agree with you, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
He had 5 last year.
Right? Okay.
No, I'm seeing 5, Trent.
No, you're right. I was guessing. He had 2 games where he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
He
I
had
figured
5 rushing touchdowns in essentially 6 games.
Yeah. And that is with an offense with Arthur Smith that's not unleashing him, not letting him take over a game.
Well, and the weapons
yeah.
were pretty similar too, right? It's a very similar type of offense that he's going to from
Okay.
where he was in Pittsburgh.
Before we get to Seth, let's do a little bit of start, bench, cut here. I think everyone's going to say the same thing. I'll have Jordan go last. I'm going to have Seth go first. Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields, Bryce Young. It's only a little bit interesting because the Jets and the Steelers switched quarterbacks. Okay. That's the only reason it's interesting. There's guys both. A lot of people said Rodgers looked a little bit more mobile towards the end of the year last year. Seth, between Rodgers, Justin Fields, and Bryce Young, who are you starting there?
Justin Fields. And then I'm going to bench Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to cut Bryce Young.
Cut Bryce Young. I think I'm going start Justin Fields, bench Bryce Young, cut Aaron Rodgers is what I would do. Jordan, is that where you're at?
Same. Cut Rodgers, bench Young, start Fields.
Okay. Try to do a little bit of start, bench, cut every single week. I think that's a little interesting with some maybe not lower tier guys, but I'm high on Bryce Young too. But when you put that top 12, it puts things in perspective a little bit, I feel like. And I was
very
thinking
much
like
room in top 12.
There's not. So you got to put the guys. How I do it is I put them in line on how I would draft them if they're available on a board. That's how I was looking at it. I might be crazy, but I think I'm going to try to go. I really like JJ for a late round QB, and his ADP. I don't have that right now, but I know it's late. Seth, you have Brock Purdy as QB 12 here, and he also has good ADP. You have Kittle, a little bit of unknown with Ricky Purcell, but Ayuk's still there. But you like Brock Purdy as much as you like the 49ers.
Yeah, I believe I said this in a few pods ago. I don't know what segment we were doing, but we were talking about maybe where these quarterbacks would fall in this quarterback ranking. And I said Brock Purdy right around that 10 to 12 range. So I think this matches up with what I said a few pods ago. But I think Brock Purdy has a little bit better of a season this year, but not the one he had 2 years ago. So I think right around that 12 range, he doesn't have quite the upside I think the guys ahead of him have, who maybe have a better arm or maybe more of a passer or they can run the ball. But I think Purdy is better than the guys that are below him, like in that 15 range. So I like Purdy there at 12. If you're thinking about taking quarterback late, who will probably have a decent floor every week, I think Purdy's a good one there.
I'm pulling up his stats. I'm not sure what his average points per game were last year, Jordan, but it's in that.
Purdy?
Yeah. Do you have average points per game? He didn't. He got hurt versus Buffalo, and he had an absolute stinker versus the Rams. That was that super rainy game.
So he was at 18 per game last year. I mean, he had a 130-point game, week 17. He had 5, 6, 20 plus games to cut with a couple 25 plus in there. Yeah, he was pretty solid, but he had a 10, he had a 13, a 14, and a 4, and a 2. So he did have a 2 and a 4, which is not great, but he was pretty solid most of the year, Purdy was.
Yeah, I think it's a decent floor. And that's like at QB 18 he finished at last year. I think that was the number. But so if he finishes better this year, the floor is going to be higher, and which I think the 49ers are going to be a better team this year than they were last year.
And then what was it? Shoot. So Fantasy Life has Purdy at QB 11. PFF has Purdy at QB 8. And those are both fantasy rankings, not just QB rankings.
Well, they have 8? Wow.
Yeah, so he's up there. Coming into my next one here. This is something interesting here. So just looking at top, and I'm going to share this here actually. But looking at Fantasy Life's QB strength of schedule for you guys, I'm sharing it. Lions have the 11th best schedule. Broncos have the 10th best QB schedule. Cowboys have the 9th best QB schedule. Browns have the 8th best. Bengals at 7, Bears at 6, Panthers at 5, Bills at 4, Ravens at 3, Falcons at 2, and your Cardinals at 1. I know it's based off last year's stats and stuff like that, but that is something you can put into an account for there. So yeah, next on my list at 11, I had Brock Purdy. I don't think we need to talk about that more. Seth, do you have Justin Herbert on your list? Jordan, you have Herbert at 11.
I know
You like
Herbert.
I have Herbert.
you have Herbert at 11. I
I-
was struggling on where to put him.
Yeah, I guess I could have put Purdy at 12 and Fields at 11 and left Herbert out. I didn't realize Purdy was that good last year, to be honest. Yeah, but I do like Herbert. Like, he was good last year. I was gonna pull up his points per game if it would load here, but yeah, I like Herbert. He was
I
solid
want to
though.
like him.
He had 17 last year. He got up to a really slower start, but he ended the year with a 23, a 24, a 28. He had a 25, a 24, some close to 20s, but he didn't. So his lowest was an 8.
He 12 on the
He
season.
started off really slow. Like, he started off with a 10, 11, 9, 11, 14, 15, and then was pretty good to finish the year.
It was the Chargers ran the ball a lot at the beginning.
Yes.
I think
they
that's what
started
I'm
opening
afraid
up
of
towards the end of the year.
this 25-26 season. I'm afraid they're just going to run a lot again.
Yeah, but like,
His last 3 regular season starts, he had over 23 fantasy points in each game. So he did finish pretty strong.
that was the first thing I said, Trent, by the way.
Did you say I know you said he finished strong. I don't know if you said he had 3
I
straight.
said his
20
last
points.
3 games, that's exactly the first point I
Sorry.
made. But they have Ladd Quentin there. They drafted Trey Harris, who I think will end up playing over Mike Williams. I didn't realize Mike Williams went back there.
I meant to bring that up a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Lambert Smith, like, they have some good weapons now at receiver. Their line is good. They drafted Hampton. They got Najee. Hampton can catch the ball a little bit too. So, like, I don't know. I think they're going to let Herbert throw it. They got some good weapons on offense. They drafted Gadsden out of Syracuse. Tyler Conklin they signed. They got Disley still. Like, it's a solid skill group. And Herbert can sling it. When he wants to, he can sling it.
Yeah, and year 2 in this Harbaugh offense, I feel like maybe he unleashes him a little bit more. What you said what he finished as, but he was one that I struggled not knowing where to put him in. I think all of our bottom 3s, I'd be really happy to have all of them just looking at our rankings. But I don't mind Herbert there. He is not in either top 12 for Fantasy Life or PFF. And I'll just pull that up here if you guys want to just take a peek at that here. Seth, who do you got here, Seth?
I have Dak. I have Dak at 11. I think Dak has what did he finish last year? I think he was hurt. Never mind. So he did not have a good season last year because he was injured. But every year he's been healthy and played full games. Dak has always put up points. Now, he doesn't really put up points when the games matter, but he can have those blow-up games where he's having 40-point game, throwing a lot of touchdowns. But I think the Cowboys are just going to be a offensive monster again this year. I feel like that's how they always are sometimes. Like, when they have Dak playing, like, they score points, and then for some reason the team just doesn't win important games. But they score a lot of points in the regular season. So I'm actually I'd feel pretty happy if I got Dak as a quarterback this year. As long as he stays healthy, I think you're going to get, maybe it's a little more volatility compared to Brock Purdy, but you can get those giant boom games on weeks that you might need it. I like Dak at 11 here.
Yeah, I was trying to find a way to put Dak in here. I have like Dak, Herbert in that same tier there. So in 2018, Dak was QB 10, 2019 QB 3, 2020 was, I don't know if this is right what I'm looking at, but it seems like he's top 10 every single year except QB. So 22
except his injury years
and 24 are the years he didn't, and those were injured years, but he's at about a 20-point fantasy points per game average over his career. So not
Yeah, that's
too
a
bad.
really
And I
good
think
number
that's
as a
safe
quarterback
one
to
there.
have.
Gonna get I'm trying okay, Jordan, you're definitely the highest on him. I have where am I at here? I have Patrick Mahomes at 10, Jordan, which is one spot higher than what he finished as last year. You have him the highest, you have him at 7. I think that what were you saying?
I just don't like quarterback, to be honest. I like quarterback, but like I don't like quarterback at the same time. Like, am I really gonna rank Bo Nix over Patrick Mahomes? No. Like Goff? No. Caleb Williams? No. Herbert? No. Like Purdy? No. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe that's more of like my bias of him as a real life quarterback getting in the way, but I don't know. I have a hard time ranking Mahomes below some of those guys.
So what it comes
'Cause I
down to,
thought
Jordan,
I
is
thought I would have
defense.
him lower. I thought I would have him lower, but then I started ranking and I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to rank him lower behind those guys.
So just looking at his underdog season play here, Jordan, I'll pull it up here. Like, what do you think his passing TD line is? Let's just play that.
31.5.
Seth, what do you think?
His touchdown passing yard or
Yeah, touchdown line for
27 and a
Mahomes.
half.
Seth,
I
you
think
are
we're
like
both
a
low,
little
actually.
dealer there. I just pulled it up, 27 and a half. Seth, have you been looking at this?
Really?
I was
Yeah.
actually just an educated
Yeah.
guess. I knew it wasn't going to be in the 30s, but I knew it wasn't
Yeah,
going to be
so
lower than 25, so I just went in the middle.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
kind of
he's went 27 and 26 the last 2 years.
yeah. So
That's what I was
that
thinking. I was thinking
that
he hasn't
line,
really thrown that much in the last
I
few
mean, but
years.
he
Like,
was 38, 37, 41. I feel like there was some coach speak on it though. What did the Nagy say about that? He said something about Mahomes and throwing and something about how you saw that pass at the end of the game. He said, according to the Google AI, said they've been discussing Patrick Mahomes' performance and his role in the offense. Recent comments highlight Nagy's belief in Mahomes' ability to bounce back and improve, especially with the focus on deep ball accuracy and the team's overall offensive line play. And I know he kind of like mentioned something about how like you saw that ball at the end of the Super Bowl to Worthy, and he thinks that they're going to see more of that this year.
my biggest gripe on Mahomes, other than the calls that people say he gets and stuff like that, is like his two most famous passes in Super Bowls are in games he's lost. It's like the diving pass. That touchdown at the end was really nice, so I can't really hate on that. But those are like the two his two biggest like Super Bowl passes, I feel like, are those. Maybe there's like a game-winning drive I'm not thinking of at the moment that he has a Super Bowl, but I feel like those are the two Super Bowl plays people talk about the most. Did you say Nagy, Jordan? I just gotta like you're the like
It's
guy.
Nagy. Is it not Nagy? Matt
I
Nagy?
thought it was Nagy, isn't it? Matt Nagy, his OC.
I thought it was.
thinking of a
I've
different
always
guy?
heard it was Nagy.
Nagy.
Is it the old Bears coach?
Yeah. Matt Nagy.
I've always heard Matt Nagy. Look up how to pronounce it? I've never heard anyone say Nagy. Even when we had Tyler Bray on the
Not
pod,
Nagy, Trent. Nagy. Not Nagy. Nagy.
I was saying Nagy. You were saying Nagy.
No, you were saying Nagy.
Seth,
Matt Nagy.
is it a different guy? Is
Uh,
that why I messed up? Seth, am I crazy?
Why,
Seth,
I don't know why we're getting confused on this, and I don't even remember what I was saying.
You were saying
I
Nagy.
was saying
What did
Nagy.
you say?
Nagy.
I was
No,
saying
I
Nagy.
said Nagy. I didn't.
Jordan, I think you were saying it the way I was saying it.
Nagy. No, sorry. Matt Nagy. Not Nagy, Trent. Nagy.
I thought it was Matt Nagy.
Everyone was saying
That's what I
Nagy.
said.
Yeah, Nag. And then you said I said Nagy, not with an E. Nagy.
I thought you said Nagy.
You were confusing me. Matt Nagy.
It's the long A sound.
I know
Yeah,
it was
is that
Nagy.
right? The long A sound, is that right? Nagy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nagy.
Right.
Nagy? What? I don't think anyone was
Right,
saying
Trent,
the
you were
E
saying
version.
Nagy.
I thought it was Nagy. Is what I've always thought it was, not Nagy. So
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, wow, that was
no
great.
one should come to me on how to read. That's just what I thought I'd heard. So I
How to
have
do
Mahomes
anything.
at 10. Jordan, you have him at 7. Yeah, that
So,
was just
okay,
I was
here.
looking at the
I have him
line
at
as
8
when
for
he
what
was
it's worth.
finished. Okay.
Nagy is how you say his name. So
Nagy?
Trent unintentionally was saying it right
Oh, so
No,
you actually say like
name.
the sound.
with an E. Yeah,
And
Nagy.
it's pronounced, it's spelt with an A.
Yes.
Wow.
So Trent unintentionally
Nagy.
said it right.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to go back on the tape and see that there. So Mahomes, he's trended backwards the last 2 years. I know he has it in him. The thing that always worries me is the defense. And we talk about that all the time. It's just I think the Chiefs have a good defense that he doesn't need to just go air it out every single week. So that's why I have him at 10. Sorry, I have him at 10. I couldn't get him outside of the top 10. I feel like he's too good to put him low. Like him finishing at 11 last year, I don't think anyone guessed that. So I kind of looked at his I do like how an underdog you can do a play on higher or on playoff games started. Patrick Mahomes at 2.5. Jordan, do you think you'll have any of that or no for season long?
Patrick Mahomes at 2.5 playoff games started.
Yeah, it's only a 2.34x payout.
The thing is, if he plays or the week
He
one
does
of
it every
playoff,
year.
Yeah, because if they get a bye,
then he
go to
has to
Super
make
Bowl.
it. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
problem
Yeah,
with that.
that's a dumb.
line.
That would be a bad. That's a bad bet.
Yeah, like I think JJ McCarthy's 0.5. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to my underdog play here right here now while we're here. So I'm gonna share it so you can see it. I did this season long one. I put it on X, so we wanted to follow. I got DK Metcalf higher than 949.5 receiving yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. higher than 6.5 receiving yards. And I got George Kittle higher than 899.5 receiving yards. Guys, Herbert Underdog Fantasy promo code DUDES, match $1,000. Jordan, do you hate any of those? I did do this before the Aaron Rodgers news. I don't know if that sways anything. I don't know if that number's been juiced up higher or what it's done. I'm guessing it's higher now.
I don't like the Metcalf one.
You don't like the Metcalf? Do you? Harrison Jr. had 8 TDs last year, so I felt like 6.5 was pretty good. And then I like Kittle, but maybe the Metcalf one. I
don't know. You trust Rodgers, Trent? Like I don't trust Rodgers at all.
I did this before
And-
Rodgers even got signed.
Yeah. So you like Mason Rudolph? I don't.
I just thought he was going to get that. I think he should get targeted. I don't remember, was Pickens like 850 last year? I just was going for it. Yeah, maybe that was the one I didn't feel the best about, but
It's definitely my least. It's definitely my least favorite one of that one.
Yeah,
I do like the Harrison touchdowns. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and you don't like Kittle?
No, he's fine. He's fine. But I like that. Like I would use that Harrison one. Like the Harrison one plus the Fields rushing touchdowns. That's a winner right there. That's a cash.
Yeah, the trick is not getting too crazy and adding in ones that maybe aren't as good. I'm going to try to share
Like,
one of
that's
those
a
every
pair.
single week. I'm going to try to put some NFL season longs every week on this off season. So what did I say here? I had Mahomes. Fantasy Life has Mahomes at 6, and PFF has Mahomes at 6. So are we all
So
lower
we're all
than-
low
We're all low on Mahomes
because I
compared to
think
everyone else.
everyone thinks there's gonna be. You gotta think there's gonna be a bounce back, and I don't know if their defense will be as good next year.
Okay.
Didn't they lose
And
a couple
then
pieces?
Yeah. Seth and Jordan, you both have Caleb Williams at 10. I have him at 9. So
I feel like that's pretty
Ben
consensus
Johnson.
there. Yeah, Ben Johnson's huge, I think, here.
Ben Johnson and
And you Allen, and you replace him with who'd they replace Keenan with?
the rookie Jordan from Mizzou. What's his name?
Burden.
Burden.
Yeah, they just got so much younger at that spot, like so much younger. And I'm a big Burden guy.
Burden, DJ Moore, and Roma Dunze, Loveland, Cole Kmet. Offensive line's gotten a little
Man,
bit
that
better
should be
from
pretty
guard to
good.
guard.
Swift in the back, too.
Yeah. Biggest winner this offseason, I think, is DeAndre Swift. They didn't really draft anyone at running back. They didn't sign Nick Chubb, which everybody wanted them to do. Nick Chubb's on the Texans. So DeAndre Swift is a pretty big offseason winner so far, I would say. It's a big winner. Who else is left? There's one more running back who hasn't signed, right? Was Chubb the only free agent? Chubb and Najee? I feel like I'm missing somebody here.
There might be more. I don't know though.
I'm not-
Zeke.
Okay. Zeke. Yes. Yes.
Cowboys.
Zeke is still potential to Beth. You are something else.
Dobbins, I think might be the one.
Dobbins
You're
isn't.
thinking of.
Yeah. And Dobbins met with Chicago, I thought. But that must not have went well, or they just like Chubb more. Okay.
Well, they didn't
Oh.
sign Chubb. I thought Houston signed Chubb.
Sorry. Houston signed Chubb. Dobbins is still available. Sorry about that. So we got Caleb Williams. I got him at 8. Jordan has him at 10. Seth has him at 10. I think we move on from there. Jordan,
Bo Nix,
I
maybe?
don't have. Yeah, I don't have Jared Goff in my top 12, and I got a lot of hate. I shared this on
Trent.
X.
Oh, come
I got
on.
a lot
this
of
is
hate on
bad,
this.
Trent.
I got a lot of
Trent.
hate on this.
Trent, the fact that
Come
you have JJ
on.
McCarthy over Jared Goff is just
The Lions are going to
it's
score so many
inexcusable.
touchdowns. And you don't think he's
What I
gonna
was
throw
worried
some?
about. What I was worried about was Gibbs maybe getting some of those rushing touchdowns. I know JMO
He's
gets
throwing
the
at
long
least
ones,
30 touchdowns.
and that's what he's done the past 2 years.
Trent,
So
they don't
digging in-
slow down. They don't slow down at all. They just keep scoring. They are the team that will put 50 on teams with no hesitation. They don't care.
They just keep going.
Like,
Yeah.
They just
Ben
keep
Johnson is out.
going.
I get that. But like I still think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Steve on
yes,
X told me to lay off the Zen pouches. I've never even had a Zen pouch, but he thought the take was that
Trent,
bad. Had a couple lines, guys, coming after.
He's gone 17, 17, 19 the last 3 years. Played every single game, so he's durable. He's going to be out there. Like, I think that matters too. Like, I think there is some merit to like, okay, the guy's going to be on the field. He doesn't miss games. The guy's missed like outside of his rookie year. He's missed. They played 16 games before. Yeah, so the guy's missed 3 games outside of his rookie season. That's crazy. He's out
Yeah.
there all the time. Watch, he's gonna get hurt. But like Trent, his last 5 of his last
He's
6 weeks
hitting
last
TDs
season.
in the last 2
22,
years. First in yards.
41, 25, 25. The guy has 40. He's flashed 40-point upside, Trent.
Yeah. No, the more I looked at it, I probably wrong here.
He had 2 400-yard passing games last year.
And his
Like, he's live for the bonus every single game. He's live for 3 touchdowns. He threw 37 touchdowns last year.
and his line on
There's
underdog
0
is
rushing.
pretty good too.
There is
Yeah,
0
there's
rushing
0.
upside. Yeah. So that's him, I think, because all the guys that I have above him all have higher rushing upside than Jared Goff.
What
right?
do
I mean,
you
I think
Yeah.
what do
I
you think
that
his
makes
line is
sense.
on underdog, Jordan? TD
his
passes.
passing yards.
Passing TDs.
Okay, hold on, let me
32.
look at what he did the last 3
Yeah.
years. It's going to be 30. What do you say, Seth? 33 and a half?
32 and a half.
I'm going to go 33 and a half. 33 and a half,
line?
34 and a half.
I will
one of those
share you
two.
his line right now so you guys can go in here for season long play. He is 29 and a half passing TDs is his
Nah.
line right now.
Seems
Man,
low.
that seems low to me.
Does
But I guess
seem a
I said
little
30.
low.
Maybe
So
it's
let's
the Ben
look.
He went
Johnson not being
29,
around,
30,
probably.
37.
Yeah.
last
So
3
I
years.
did read what was it?
Who's their
know
new OC? Did they promote from within, Trent?
I cannot remember who the new OC is off the top of my head. They do have the 11th best schedule for quarterbacks this year. So Green Bay, Chicago,
John
Baltimore,
Morton.
first 3 games.
He was the Broncos pass game coordinator. I don't love that, but he was on the line staff in 2022 as a senior offensive assistant.
I was thinking more like Gibbs and Montgomery, maybe taking away from him. I just don't know how much. longer
But
it
Trent,
could-
what
yeah.
can those guys do? Like what more can those guys do? Because let's
4
look at those
touchdowns.
guys.
I was just thinking rushing touchdowns, but I know he still has the big play.
But Gibbs had 16 rushing touchdowns last year.
I know. That's why I figured maybe
Is he
they
gonna
they
score
run the ball.
more?
I think
He's
he'll
gonna
still
score
be
more?
at that. I think it'll be him and Montgomery. I just was thinking the TDs might be lower. Looking at the line too.
So you just think they're going to score less?
I'm thinking Goff throws less TDs is what I was thinking. That's what I was
But-
thinking going into it.
So this is not. You think they're going to score more than 28 rushing touchdowns next year?
I just
Like
said,
they're
yeah,
going to increase.
yeah, they probably can't go higher than that. I did not look at that.
They had 12.
Yeah.
Montgomery had 12, and Gibbs had 16. Like
Yeah, and
those
that's a
guys,
lot.
The whole
those
season.
guys. That's a lot, Trent. Like that's like I don't know what the rushing touchdown leaders were last year. I guess I could look that up. Rushing.
I
Like,
can get right here.
Your argument basically is saying that they're going to score less points next year. That's what you're saying.
I think tougher
So-
schedule, but yeah, that's where I was. I just thought more rushing
Trent,
touchdowns, but yeah, it's be hard to do more than that.
the leader in rushing touchdowns last year was Derrick Henry with 16.
And
Cook
Gibbs
had
was
16.
tied.
Gibbs had 16. Yeah. Like Saquon only had 30. Like Gibbs was tied for first and Montgomery was tied for ninth.
Okay,
And
looking
that
at
includes quarter. So and there's two quarterbacks on that list. Take away the quarterbacks, Montgomery's even higher. Like, so yeah.
What-
I mean, I think it's a bad take from you, but I mean,
what do you think Jared Goff's going for in best ball right now? What QB what right now?
9,
Good.
10.
Should
Probably
be the
10.
most stacked guy. He's going as QB 13 at the moment, which seems
That's
low
too
for
low.
how much people really like him. So that's
But
just
well,
where
I
he's-
can tell you why, because he doesn't have rushing upside.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah, you're right. Definitely is reason why.
Where you need him, because if you take St. Brown, like you probably want to, but like you could go JMO and Laporta, or like the guy that I like, Tim Patrick's not bad, but they drafted the Tesla kid. His name's not Tesla, but yeah, it's Tesla out of Arkansas in the 3rd round. I like him. So you do like
Okay.
a JMO Tesla. So I don't know.
So looking at Fantasy Life and PFF, I'll share that on the screen here. PFF does not have Jared Goff in the top 12. Tell me if I'm wrong there. And Fantasy Life does not have Jared Goff in the top 12.
Yeah, I
either.
don't-
So it
That
seems
doesn't make sense to me.
consensus. It seems like everyone's low on Jared Goff, guys. Like you guys are
Yeah,
on the
no,
higher
it's-
end, just so you know.
That's fine. I'll live with that.
No.
It's a Ben Johnson. It's people are
It-
scared of no Ben Johnson. It's exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Benny. All right.
We should talk
okay.
about
So
Baker, right? Probably next, or Bo Nix.
where are we
possibly.
at here? You want to? We can skip around. Where are we at here on time wise? Seth, what are we at on time on your computer? Your clock, I think, is a little better. for
I'm at
whatever reason.
40 right now. And if we
Yeah.
go to Baker, I'm at 6 on mine, and same with yours. And I think Jordan has him we all have him at 6.
I have Baker. I all have Baker. So let's
I thought I
real
was the
quick. Let's
highest,
just talk
yeah.
about Bo Nix. Bo Nix,
Okay.
real quick. Okay. Seth, you have him at 9. I have him at 8. Trent, you have him at 7. For me,
Yes.
it's the rushing upside. Another year in the offense. I was more wrong about Bo Nix last year than probably anybody else. I might have a worse take out there, but probably did. But I feel like the Bo Nix one is one that's on top of my head. Pretty bad take by me. I thought he would suck. He did not suck. He was a very good fantasy quarterback. And I still don't know how good of a real life quarterback he's going to be, but he's definitely going to be a good fantasy quarterback. So I think he's worth being where he's at.
So what I'll say with him, you saying you're not sure if he'll be a better. I just don't think that Peyton puts Bo Nix in the position to like lose them football games. You know what I'm saying? They have a really good defense. Running back wise is a little bit of a question mark. I know they drafted Harvey, but I think that Peyton just puts Nix in position to win games, and the rushing upside helps. So definitely top
Yeah.
10 fantasy
Not having a
quarterback,
running
and I
back
think
definitely helps too.
Cam
Yeah.
Sutton's what contract here, I believe. Am I right? Am I saying is it Cam?
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland
Trent, you say
Sutton,
the
man.
same thing every single time.
I'm stuck on that.
Your Fresno State
subpar
fandom
Fresno State,
runs. Yep.
Subpar Fresno State wide receiver Cam Sutton. Hopefully he's not listening to this pod that I called him subpar. Maybe we should have him on the pod. I don't know. I'll reach out. Might not be that hard to get him on, honestly.
Trent, you
Yes.
have Kyler Murray, and we don't. Talk about that real quick. I'm out on Kyler Murray.
I think
you
this
talk about him real quick.
offseason, I think that Marvin Harrison gets better. He had 8
He
TDs
quit.
last year. I think Trey Bride gets more receiving TDs as well. And then you look at their schedule for QBs. They have the best QB schedule, which I know You can't put a ton of weight in that. They start the game off with the Saints, Panthers, 49ers. Those first two games are really nice fantasy wise. You got the Titans week 5, the Colts week 6, wrapping up the season with the Bengals in week 17. That could be a really nice championship game if Kyler Murray can stay healthy. And also the knee injuries. Sometimes it takes a year to get better, not just the next year. Sometimes it takes longer than that. I am a little biased to OU quarterbacks. I do like Murray and Baker always. I always feel like I'm higher on them than usual, but I think it's just a year removed from the injury. Nice schedule, year 2 with Marvin Harrison, and I think Trey McBride scores more touchdowns this year, catching them, okay, more receiving touchdowns. So he has 2, I think you could say Marvin Harrison takes the leap here, that he's a top 5 fantasy wide receiver, top 8 fantasy wide receiver. I think he has that ability to do that. What did JSN finish this last year? He took quite a big jump. I know he doesn't have Trey McBride there, but I think Marvin Harrison can be a lot better this year. And I think Kyler rushing upside, I think he can stay in the top 10 if healthy. We've had him, what was it? And he finished, I think, as 11 last season. I don't think it's too crazy to have him where I have him at QB 8.
8 or 9.
PFF has him as 11, and Fantasy Life has him at 9. I have him at 8. Does no one else have Kyler Murray in their top 12?
I'm just not a Kyler Murray guy.
No, Trent. So
He's still playing
Trent,
COD.
Hey, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think the rushing upside is what you think it is.
What it used to be.
The guy's had 5 rushing touchdowns last year. He had 3, and I guess he played less games. And the guy's last year he played a full complement of games. He had 5 rushing touchdowns, 572 rushing yards. The year he really flashed rushing upside was his second year in the league. He had 819 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns.
And I think since they've got James Conner, he doesn't get the rushing touchdowns as much. It's like they get within the 10 and they feed James.
He had 170-plus rushing yard game last year. He had 1 game with multiple rushing touchdowns.
He's more of a scrambler.
He has not had double-digit attempts. Yeah, he's not getting designed runs. He's scrambling. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. So
20 and a half passing TDs is the line. 4.5 rushing TDs is the line. And then 499.5 rushing yards is the line there. You have to get 3,400 on passing yards to get the over.
What do we got next?
So Murray,
Baker,
these are all
we all
got Baker at
consensus 6. I just think that offense is just going to continue to be good, and their defense is never going to be good. Like I don't see their defense getting better, so they're just going to throw, and that's
not that
team
much
that will
better.
just throw and throw and throw. So I'm Baker. This is the first year I think that I'm full team Baker.
That's definitely
a good
true.
Spot for him.
What do you think his passing TD line is, Jordan?
Wow, it's got to be close to like 38, 39. What did he have last year?
He's in the 40s.
Did he have 40 last year? I know.
Yeah.
He has the
He had
most
a
TD
ton,
passes
man.
in the NFL in the last 2 years. So
He had 41 and 28 the last.
His line's probably at 35.
35. It's going to be
30.
30. Yeah, 34 to 36, somewhere in there.
All right, so here he is. I'm gonna share it. He's
And
at
I'm gonna guess
28
his
and a half passing TDs.
28?
That feels too low. What's his yards? His yards are what, 4,200? What are they?
Yeah, 33,824.
Oh wow, that's low. I like the yards actually better than the touchdowns.
I
to be
think
honest.
I like Jordan the 0.5 most regular season passing yards. I think that he gets that one time this season.
Oh, he gets that
Or-
one time. What's the multiplier on that though?
4.68x.
That he gets the most. It has to be 1 week, right?
Yeah, I believe I believe I'm reading that right.
Yeah, it just has to be the most in 1 week.
In 1 week, yeah.
I feel like him and Burrow probably have the highest chances.
Man,
I guess. Maybe Goff.
That's a new one
So
they added
man,
on Underdog.
They're giving you like 4-1 odds on that. Is that sounds right, doesn't it? Like they're giving you. I mean, that's.
It would
he
be
had a 300. He had a 370-yard week last year, a 347, a 359.
What would be interesting, Jordan, is to pair a couple QBs up to be the highest passer for one time in the season. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could do like a Baker, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, like all three of those guys together. I wonder if you could do that and see what the multiplier is. Like you just need Burrow to be the highest passer one time. Am I reading this line, that stat on Underdog?
I don't have it.
You don't have it on the
So
season
Baker
long?
only led it 1 week last year.
Wow. And he has a first place schedule this year. I don't think he had that last year. Hard to go back and look at that. The Bucks have, where are they? Whoa, the Bucks have the 30th hardest QB schedule this year. And I know you don't want to put too much weight into that, like I've always said, but yeah. So maybe not.
So you can, Trent, there's a way to go through and you can look at the week by week of last year if you're interested. Like, yeah, I think there's a way to do it. So, but that's something I'm gonna look into more, Trent. I like that. I think it's a new market, and I think it's something that I wouldn't mind looking into more.
Yeah.
But we have a long way to go. It's still early in the summer, and
yeah, and
probably
I think
over the next
everything's
month.
gonna get tired.
Yeah, no, like that one's not though. Like that one isn't going to change, I don't think. So, something I would put some research into the next month or so.
Okay. And
what do we got after Baker?
So
basically,
looking at the chart here, and then
Joe Burrow basically / Hurts
Yeah.
conversation, I think.
Yeah, so you guys have Burrow, I have Hurts at 6. You guys have Hurts at 5, and then you guys have Hurts at 4. I have Joe Burrow at 4. I kind of went back and forth. I think Burrow's defense is way worse. Gonna leave better game script. The guy might just chuck every single game. So I just kind of like that more. But Hurts definitely has way more rushing upside, but his passing upside I think is lower. The 300-yard bonus isn't going to happen very often with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you run for
true.
1 or 2
rushing-
touchdowns every game, though, like it's, I don't know.
You got the Saquon curse too, Jordan. So like maybe he gets more rushing TDs. Maybe he throws for more. The Madden curse. I know you don't believe in that, but
I used to believe in it. I feel like it's been slightly broken recently.
Not with McCaffrey. I have Joe Burrow. I think has the highest line for passing TDs in Underdog. If you want to look around, or he's at 33.
Guy almost threw for 5,000 passing yards last year.
Yeah. His line on passing yards 4,199.5. Passing TDs 33.5. And then he's
I mean, because every year he's been fully healthy, he's hit the over. I think the only way you don't get there is if like he has some rushing upside. It's not rushing up. I'm not sitting here and like, but he had 200 yards rushing last year, 2 touchdowns. There's a tad bit there, so.
Yeah.
I was going to look at Jalen Hurts. His passing, I feel like, is really – but, like – so Jalen Hurts had 14 rushing touchdowns last year. The yards, it's 630 yards, but, yeah, he had less than 3,000 yards passing. They're just going to run the ball a ton, and so I think that you got the 300-yard bonus one time in week 3.
Yeah. Do you have him pulled up on Underdog? His passing TDs is 19.5. I think Goff had double the amount of passing TDs on Hurts last year. I thought I read that.
I'm sure.
Jalen Hurts only had 18 passing touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
His most passing touchdowns in a season is 23.
His line's 19.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it, Trent. Like, to be honest, they're just going to run the ball, and their defense is going to be so good. Like, I think they're going to be even better than they were last year. Their defense is going to be so good that, like, it's just stupid, and they're not going to have to throw the ball very often.
Yeah, on Underdog, his rushing line is 12.5, and what did he have last year? He had 14 rushing touchdowns last year. When it came to rushing touchdowns, Josh Allen was in second with 12. Who do you think? There's a couple guys who tied for this. Who do you think? Name 2 guys that had 6 rushing touchdowns last year. 12 is second place with rushing touchdowns. Then third is 6. And
Lamar.
3 guys tied with 6.
Lamar, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix.
Lamar only had 4.
Interesting.
Jaden Daniels is on the list. Bo Nix had 4. What do you think, Jordan?
What's the question, Trent? Sorry, I
He
didn't.
has 6
Who-
rushing
so-
touchdowns.
Yeah. So who were so Jalen Hurts had 14 rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen
Yeah.
had 12 rushing touchdowns. Who were the
Yeah.
3 quarterbacks and third with 6 rushing touchdowns?
Lamar,
No,
Lamar
George
had
just
4.
just said Lamar.
4. So you said Jaden was 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No. Baker had 3.
What did Mahomes have? What did Mahomes have?
Mahomes isn't in the top, maybe 2. My top 15 was 2. Let me go here.
Oh, Fields. Fields had 6. We just said Fields had 6.
No,
Or he had
I
5.
said 6. He only had 5.
Shoot.
Caleb Williams?
No. So here it is right here. Here's the quarterbacks that had
Man,
6 rushing
interesting.
touchdowns who were third in the NFL, and it might make me bump one of these guys up, honestly. Anthony Richardson had 6 rushing touchdowns.
Oh,
There's a reason
that
you wouldn't
doesn't-
think of him. Jaden Daniels had 6 rushing touchdowns. And then Bryce Young with 6 rushing touchdowns, surprisingly. I did not consider him as a QB
How
rushing touchdown.
how many did Drake May have? I'll look at Drake May.
Drake
How many did he have?
May, he had less than
I have it right
2.
here, Trent. You don't go
Maybe
look.
2.
I only had
Yeah.
I thought he would have more.
Maybe. Do you think Bryce Young has more than 6
had
this
2.
year?
I think that was an outlier. I think that's an
Okay.
outlier.
And then Jaden Daniels.
But he's going to take off because they're not going to be good, so they're going to be behind. Bryce Young's an interesting trainer. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I like him in best ball. So
I was tempted to put Bryce Young.
I like Drake May too, but
Yeah, I like May, Young, and JJ. I kind of have them all in the same of guys I like and I'm willing to take later. Who do you think has the worst weapons between those guys? Drake May and Bryce Young? And who is the other one we said?
JJ. Well, it's not JJ, so
It's not JJ. Probably, I think
probably
Drake
Drake
May has the
May.
worst weapons.
yeah.
I have to look at their teams. Should we finish this, Trent, real quick?
Yeah, let's finish this up here.
Yeah, we talked about
So
Hurts,
okay.
Daniels
We don't
probably.
have to share.
You
a
guys
ton.
all have, you guys all have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think you guys are standard, right? I think that's pretty. I know PFF looks like it has Allen, Daniels, Lamar. Fantasy Lives has what you guys have. Okay,
I had
So I'm just gonna
Lamar
talk
too.
about-
I had Allen Lamar.
that's
Oh,
what I
okay,
said,
yeah,
Trent.
Yeah.
Said you and
Sorry,
Seth
I-
both have Allen,
Yeah,
Lamar,
I have fantasy
Jaden.
life. I have
Okay.
fantasy life swapped.
Oh shoot, yes, my bad. Fantasy
Sorry.
Life has Lamar.
Yeah, that's what threw me
Interesting.
off.
That's
yeah.
weird. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. No, that's my fault then. But you and Seth
Right.
both had the same, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna talk about why I have Jaden Daniels number 1. The guy was so good last year. I think he takes another step forward, and his upside in both passing, he's a solid floor passing. Like he's got 300-yard bonus once last year, so you don't really count on that. But he has multiple passing touchdown upside. He had a 3 in there, a 5, another 3. He had like 7, 8 weeks of 2+. But then his rushing is just ridiculous, right? Like,
He's averaging
he had
at least 50
88
yards.
yeah, I could look at what he averaged per game. He had 891 rushing yards, so I don't know what that is.
A little bit
But
under 50.
where I think you can get a little more, he only had 6 rushing touchdowns. I think
Yeah.
there's more room there. And I feel like there was a few games like he got the sneak and he didn't convert. So I mean, Trent, 127 rushing yards in a game. He has like 5 games with double-digit rushing attempts, and then a few, and then like 9, and a bunch of like 8s. Like he only had 3 games with less than 7 rushing attempts. He only had 3 games with less than 30 yards rushing. The guy was, but again, like he went a bunch of like a 7-week stretch without having a rushing touchdown. I don't think I think he's gonna get closer to like that 8, 9 rushing touchdowns this year. Maybe hits 10. Like I think he could be like what Hurts was with maybe not quite to that level. So I like Jaden quite a bit. So I think his upside, I think he has the highest upside, and I think he's gonna improve with his arm. Like I think the arm could get better. he
added
didn't
Debo.
have like they added Debo, so he was pretty efficient. I don't feel like he really stretched the field that much. You know, I yeah, I like Jaden quite a bit this year. Obviously, I've ranked number one. Is it the smart thing to do? Is it the safe thing to do? No. But like I guess like I like Jaden more, and if that means that I can get Jaden a little bit later, I think that's fine. I think I just like Jaden a lot. So
Yeah. Underdog, he is in best ball. He's going as QB3 behind Josh Allen and Lamar.
what is
So
what's his rushing touchdown prop, Trent? Do you have that pulled?
I can pull it up in 2 seconds. Jaden
Because if
Daniels.
if it's in that 5.5, I'm hitting the over for sure.
All right. So for Jaden Daniels, I'll share it here on the screen. Go over to YouTube. Give us a like, give us a sub, guys. Really helps us out. And don't share the dudes. His rushing TDs is at 6.5. Rushing yards at 699.5. Do you feel like
I like
he's
the rushing yards for sure.
so? All
Go
right.
go down, Trent. Do they?
Oh,
shoot. Do they
on
have
the rise
that?
again.
What is his multiplier to lead this? Do they have that up for him?
Does it have it?
They don't have that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh. All right. Just looking at them all there. I'll share it for you more. If you guys want to take a peek at that. I had JJ McCarthy, Brock Purdy, Mahomes at 10, Caleb Williams at 9, Kyler Murray at 8, Bo Nix at 7, Baker Mayfield at 6, Joe Burrow at 5, Jalen Hurts at 4, Jaden Daniels at 3, Lamar Jackson at 2, Josh Allen at 1. Jordan, you had Fields at 12, Herbert 11, Williams at 10, Goff at 9, Nix at 8, Mahomes at 7, Mayfield at 6, Hurts at 5, Burrow at 4, Lamar at 3, Daniels at 2. Daniels at 1, Allen at 2. And then Seth, you had Purdy, Dak, Caleb Williams, Nix, Mahomes, Goff, Mayfield, Burrow, Hurts, Daniels, Lamar, and Allen. Guys, before we get into our Mount Rushmore, which we're doing favorite Mexican foods, who's one guy you really wanted to put in this list and just couldn't find a spot for him? Trevor Lawrence, Jordan.
No. One
I was
guy
thinking
I wanted
Herbert
to
probably
put
for
in the
me.
list.
I think Herbert for me.
I was between Herbert and Dak. These are guys that I thought I could maybe get in that top 12.
I don't know if I was thinking about it, but now for me it's Purdy for me. Is one guy I wish I could find a room for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I've always been a Fields guy. I just couldn't, I just was having trouble really putting them in there. All right. That was our QB rankings, guys. Let us know what you thought of this. Do you like the rankings like this? I feel like the top 12 interesting to getting that mark right there. And then I'm not sure if we'll do running backs or do like 18 to 12 or something next week. We can figure that out here for fantasy football all year long. So Mexican food. Seth, you want to go first with your Mount Rushmore for Mexican food?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, top. So in no order, I am a carne asada burrito guy. You can never go wrong with a carne asada burrito. That's just a classic I'll go to. And lately, I've been pairing that up with a carne asada quesadilla. Maybe that's a little white to get a quesadilla. Maybe that's white of me to get a quesadilla, but I like to get a carne asada quesadilla. Sometimes I'll switch it up with some pollo, some chicken. But then also, I'm a big fan of carnitas tacos. That's one of my 4 on there. And then 5, man, maybe I won't go with like a truck style Mexican dish, but maybe I'll go with, man, I do like a good tamale. I feel like I gotta throw a tamale on there. I like a good tamale, nice homemade tamale. That's always good, nice and warm. Man, those are good when they're right. So
Shredded beef, Seth,
those are
or
my
do you ever
4.
get like the sweet corn? I kind of like the sweet corn ones too.
I'd prefer the shredded beef one, but the sweet corn one is good too. But I just like the beef one better.
I like tamales. Tamales are good. I If someone offers me to buy tamales, I always say yes. It's just an unspoken
thing
rule
is,
I
like-
have. Whether it's Walmart parking lot or side of the road, I have bought tamales at both of those places. Had someone knock on
It's
my door
true.
selling
You-
tamales once I bought them.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Mexican food, it's like you almost don't want to do a Mount Rushmore because there's only 4 things, when it's like there's probably 10 different things I kind of like, all very similar to me, if that makes sense. Like, I go to the taco
saw
truck and I
it-
really struggle to choose what I want to eat. Like,
I saw a
it's
guy
good
on
problem to
X
have.
that said, Mexican food is just tortillas with cheese and beans and rice of some sort. And I don't know if that's
Yeah,
entirely
the guy
true.
was probably from like Oklahoma or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Well, he was
It's
from
actually sad,
California
like, people
and he
not
moved to
knowing what good
Tennessee.
Mexican food is. Like, I feel bad for the people who live in Pennsylvania, like, who have no idea what good
Yeah,
Mexican
they have no
food is.
idea. Like anyone on
if-
the East Coast,
We do
has
appreciate
no,
them as listeners, though.
It's
Yeah,
true.
but like everybody on the East Coast has no idea what good Mexican food. Like even in New York, they don't have like that. Might be the one thing that, like New York or Chicago or like some of those cities on the Midwest, East Coast, like they don't know good Mexican food. You know, like
New
You
York
really have to
definitely is
come to
better than the
California
Midwest.
or Texas or one of those.
sure, but New York doesn't.
yeah.
New York doesn't. Like I don't think there's many Mexican people that live in New York. I'm sure there's some, but like I don't
I
think
do-
it's very. I'd be surprised. Like people aren't
I
going
feel
to.
like-
I don't know.
Yeah, New York has some of the best food maybe in the world, though, where they have that like food
But-
from everywhere. I didn't like I've never had like Texas Mexican food and Tex-Mex that I really like. Jordan's having a little power outage. If you want to check over to YouTube right here, maybe some mice chewing on some electrical cords or something. What would you rather have though, Jordan? Good Amish like pastries or Mexican food? Like I know you're a big
Oh, that's
Amish
easy.
pastry
Or Mexican
fan.
food for sure.
Yeah, I
For
think I'd
sure.
go
But
Mexican food.
no, if you told me I go to Pennsylvania, I'm eating the
Yeah.
Amish food, not the Mexican food.
I,
You
I know, but if you
like,
could
No,
choose
yeah, you
between
can't do
California
that.
Mexican food or Amish Pennsylvania food, that's what I'm
well, then
asking you.
California Mexican food.
Okay,
Like taco
yeah.
truck right down the street from my house. I'm going to every
Yeah.
time.
You're probably going to it after this. Seth,
Want
anything
to.
else? You got oink oink. All right. Jordan, what do you have?
Okay, I'm gonna go with there's so many different like I'll go with Pastor tacos, but like lengua tacos are right there. Like taco just everything's right there, the tacos. But I'm gonna go with Pastor, I think is my favorite. Like good Pastor when they get the what is that thing called where they with the pineapple and they roll it over the I don't know what that's called. I'm blanking on what that's called, but
I'm not sure.
you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
When they do the pastor over the anyways, like right, and then I'm gonna go carnitas burrito. I'm a big carnitas guy. I'm gonna go with chicken enchiladas, and then actually like this not true Mexican, but like the blue corn tortilla enchiladas from in New Mexico, like Albuquerque area, is really good. If you guys ever
Heard a
have a
lot of
chance to
good
try
things
that,
about those.
I recommend that. What they do with the hatch chilies with the enchilada sauce is really good. Then my fourth one, I'm a little off the board here. I'm gonna go with churros. Like
I have
Really
churros on my
good,
list.
good
like,
churro is
I
good.
thought I was
Street-
alone on that one.
the really good street churro is really good. Like I'll be honest, I usually stick to those 3 things with Mexican food, like burritos, tacos from a taco truck, and then if I go to an actual sit down restaurant, it's usually gonna be chicken enchiladas. That's what I stick to when it comes to Mexican food. But that churros are really, really good. I'll let Trent go, and I might have some honorable mentions that I've only had a few times that are really good, but I couldn't put them on my list because I don't eat them very often.
Mad I didn't say chili
Phil-
verde. I'm mad.
Yeah. So I have Phil's list
I'm
actually.
not a
sent
chili
to me.
verde guy.
Phil just sent me 2. He said Taco Bell pizza and chalupa. Oh, and he threw in chili verde. So you guys can let me know what you think about Phil putting Taco Bell pizza.
So he
seems
did.
like
He
a sin.
basically he said ground beef taco. This is I don't feel his listed. It's gonna be my wife's ground beef tacos, the cheese cheese quesadillas that my girls make for me when they get the tortilla and the shredded cheese and they throw in the microwave for me.
No.
then his
Phil,
Taco Bell,
Phil's the one who
whatever.
microwaves it. Phil's the microwave one. He's always
Yes.
he always
He
says
puts
that.
it in his air
then-
fryer.
Then the Taco Bell, and then his mom's. The only real one he has on his list is his mom's chili
Yeah.
verde. His mom's chili verde is good.
Yeah. Have you guys had the Taco Bell pizza? Are you guys fans of that or no? I didn't
No,
mind it
it's
as a
not
kid. It's been a
real.
No,
long
and Taco
time.
Bell's not even it's not even Mexican food, so whatever.
But, Seth, you don't like the pizza there?
No, I don't like Taco Bell. I used to like it. I just don't like it anymore. It's just easier just to go to
You're
get
a
a taco
freak.
truck. It's way easier.
You're a freak. Yeah, but they don't have that good app. The app is really good at Taco Bell. The Lux box is pretty good. Okay, I got churros. I got street corn. I love it when they get that corn,
Ooh.
they put the mayonnaise on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Have you had that,
The
Jordan?
elote?
Yeah, the
Elote, right?
elote.
Elote, yeah.
Yeah, they
Do
put
you
the,
like
and they
it?
put
Do you
like
like yours on the
spicy
cob?
Cheetos or
It's just not my
yeah,
thing. I don't know.
Do you like it on the cob or in the
super
cup
messy.
better?
I like it on the cob.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's a good one.
And then I have enchiladas on here, and then I have tacos. I was between chimichanga and tacos. A good
What
chimichanga.
kind of
Chimichanga.
meat on the enchiladas, Trent?
I usually go with, and I was even between quesadilla. I really like Bucha's quesadilla. And I can't remember what that is. Is that stomach? Is that part of the stomach? It's not.
I think that's stomach. I think.
Okay. And then I usually just go with asada when I go tacos. Yeah. I do have
What about
ground
about
beef tacos
enchiladas?
more than I'd like to admit, but I don't dislike them. I go ground beef, or I go ground beef.
Oh, really?
Actually.
You like the beef?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
When I go to the restaurants, I do beef. Yeah, not
A
shredded.
couple
Though.
honorable mentions, Trent. Like, I've only had pozole a couple times. It's pretty good. I had like birria, like not birria tacos, but like birria, like the stew, and that was pretty good too. But there's a lot of stuff that's like chicken mole. I've only had a couple times. It's good. Like, I don't know.
Those
But
cheesy
there's-
quesadillas that they make tacos out of are really good, Jordan. When they fold it up, I can't-
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
the
Yeah, those are
birria one you're talking about. It's like they like fry the taco shell a little bit more, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
birria
really
tacos,
good.
yeah.
And you
Phil
dip it.
slandered
It's
that
oh
in
man,
the group text.
that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, and good, like it's not really Mexican, like good fish tacos are also really good too.
Hey,
Like,
I
like
lied
the
about
Mexican
Phil's.
seafood.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I lied about Phil's list. He would have had Chipotle on there, right? Like that's his like go-to. It'd be Chipotle and probably
Taco
Chile
Bell.
Verde. I don't know if anything else would be on there, but I know Chipotle and Chile Verde would be on his list. Man, Jordan, are you having a power outage over there?
No. It's
You need to change your light
I'll
bulbs.
tell you. Yes, I need to change my light bulb.
Oh my goodness. I think that does it, guys. I think that's about it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in as always. Take care.